Well, good morning. Just a little bit of a glimpse of my walk this morning. A little bit different. Thought I'd throw that in there. Just see or show you what an absolutely glorious day it is here in the Macedon Ranges, here in Victoria. After yesterday, it was cold, it was windy, shocking day. Because where I live here, actually in the Macedon Ranges, it's when you're sort of driving along the highway down to Melbourne, there's a bit of a patch that you hit and the temperature drops 3, 4, sometimes 5 degrees in about a minute. That's where I live. It's a pretty cold part of the country, but it's absolutely beautiful. And today is no exception. So I'm out here with little Neil. He's feeling a lot better actually. Eyes healing up very, very well. Doesn't like the medication too much though, if I've got to be honest. I'm not his favourite person about 6 times a day when I've got to give him different things, but he's on the mend and got a checkup, and he's well on the way to being back to normal. Doesn't stop him from going for an hour-and-a-half walk every day, by the way. All right, so on to the boxing. Look, it wasn't what we all hoped, of course. Caitlin Parker and Charlie Senior both walk away with bronze medals. Now, I haven't had a chance to watch the whole fight yet. It's early in the morning here. They only fought not long ago. I've seen just a couple of highlights since I've been walking. But as you can imagine, I'm trying to keep an eye on Neil. So I can't sort of put my head down for 10 or 15 minutes and watch the fight. So the results, so first of all was Charlie Senior. He walks away with a bronze medal in the 57 kilo men's division. He went down to the Uzbekistan fighter, Abdulmalik Kalikov, and just the Uzbekistan fighters, just how good are they becoming in the world of boxing, amateurs and pros. We've had a few Aussies that have lost to them so far. So the other one was Caitlin Parker, our team captain, in the women's 75 kilo division, going down 5-0 to Qian Li from China, who also have some very, very good fighters in their division, or in the boxing, male and female. The interesting thing, though, I'll say with the Olympics is that look, maybe I've been out of it for too long, but I was looking through the gold medal winners this morning, or so far, but a lot of the actual medal winners just in general. And I remember it used to be, you'd have countries like Germany and Canada and these types of countries that are winning medals, and especially the USA and even Cuba to that extent. It was they were obviously out of a lot of the games, but you're seeing a whole different set of country or names of countries after fighters. And I know this is just a sport, it happens all the time, but it's all Uzbekistan, as I said, are winning fights. Obviously the Chinese, the Philippines are still competitive, which is good, but look, as I said, I might have been out for a while, but I don't see countries like Poland and Yugoslavia and Bulgaria, these types of countries, just in there at all anymore. Always seems to be that it's all the Eastern Bloc countries, the Russian countries. I know a lot of those countries are Eastern Bloc countries, by the way, but a lot of it's the ex-Russian states that are all the ones that are dominating boxing. Now, I suppose it does pose the question how, I think I said this the other day, how successful would a lot of the teams in the past from, say, the USA and others, how successful would they have been if if the Russian states had a split, but also Cuba had been there for all the Olympics as well. So, but yeah, look, it doesn't worry me at all, but it's just interesting how it changes over the years, and maybe a lot of those countries just put more emphasis on it these days. I don't know. Because I remember even back in the day when I was fighting, China was never a part of it. Japan, they were just never in the medals at the Olympics, and now, especially China, are winning golds, albeit mostly at female level. And don't worry, I'm not going to get into the female thing again. I did actually. This is the thing when you do YouTube videos, I suppose. People send you a lot of stuff. And look, 99% of it's great. It's informative. It might be an article that I've missed. But yesterday I had quite a few people send me the video, and I'm sure you've seen it, of the Algerian boxer, the female / male, whatever side of the fence you're on, or of the opinion that is, jumping up and down, getting a decision win, and certain body parts looking to be jiggling in the pants. Now, what I will say, these guys and girls wear protective cups, so I'm not, of course I only wore a male cup, and there's no way you could see anything through them because they're like a cricket box, they're rock hard. Females, I'm not quite sure what happens there. But anyway, I've gone on too long. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure it'll come up at some stage. But thank you to everyone that sent it to me. There was probably about 10 or 12 people. Thank you. I appreciate it. Keep it coming. Just on the Olympics though, I might do another video when I've had a look at all our fighters and results and everything like that. And I might do another video. We'll see how we go. But just on the Olympics itself, I was looking at the medal table yesterday, and how good are the Aussies? 18 gold medals. I think we've won 41 or something medals. I don't know what we won overnight. Well, the two bronzes from the Aussies bumping up, but just with the gold medals, 18 gold medals. Now we're third on the Olympic table. Now this is a little it's not little population. Down the bottom arse end of the world, 26 million people, compared to someone like, say, the United States have got 370 million, and then you've got China and even Great Britain and all these countries, and the Aussies are just killing it across the board. Now a lot of those medals I know are from the swimming, but I don't think, apart from the US, maybe China, I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of the Olympics in general, besides the boxing, to be honest. But besides the United States, what other countries are so diverse across the board? We seem to have good athletes in every single sport, or we're competing in every single sport. A lot of the other countries will have, whether it might be swimming, or it might be track and field, or it might just be boxing, or whatever, gymnastics. But the Aussies, I know we're not quite strong. I don't think we're strong in things like gymnastics, but we're amongst it. And I just think it's absolutely fantastic. And proud to be an Aussie, I will say, that all the the Aussies that are just continuing just to kill it over there, and even if they're not winning medals, they're being very competitive and putting us on the map. So yeah, I just think it's great, and I can't help it. And I'm seeing the highlights of the morning of the Aussies winning medals, and especially gold medals. The old song "Down Under" by Men at Work just keeps sort of flooding back. We come from a land down under. I love it. So I'll just get Neil here because he's spotted another dog. Now, one other thing with the Olympics I've sort of found is that, or just a question, hypothetical question. Is it hypothetical? Well, it's just a question. Now, I don't want to get into all the political stuff here, but I'm just going to just a comment and then ask the question. Now, it's been reported that a lot of the Aussie swimmers, and we clean up in the pool as well, by the way, a lot of the Aussie swimmers had COVID or were recovering from COVID when they won medals. Am I allowed to say COVID on here? I don't know. Who knows? I'll probably get banned. Whatever. You can't comment about that stuff, remember. But a lot of and not just the swimming, but I just wanted to pick that because a lot of them actually won medals, and we're seeing it in the track and field. I'm hearing not just Aussies, but other athletes are recovering from COVID, or just had COVID, or have COVID as it stands, and they're competing, and actually not just competing but winning medals. Now I just want to pose the question. This is the virus, or whatever you want, the disease, whatever it is, that 3-4 years ago literally shut down the planet, shut it down. The economy was ruined, lives were ruined. I know a lot of people die, by the way, so don't think I'm not sensitive to it, but 3 or 4 years ago, we're having people locked up in hotels for weeks on end, not being able to go to a movie, not being able to take your kids to the playground, not being able to go to the beach, not being able to have a hit of golf by yourself, by the way, with no one anywhere near you. And as I said, the economy shut down and pretty much obliterated for the next few generations to pick up the bill. And now in 2024, an athlete is just brushing it off and and winning medals at the Olympics, and the commentators and the team managers and everyone else is brushing it off like, yeah, he had COVID, all good now. So where, again, I'm just asking the question. I'm not taking sides. It's just not a matter of who's left and right and who's red and blue and all the rest of it. This is just a legitimate question. This thing that pretty much shut down and ruined the world 3 years ago was suddenly just not a byproduct, a passing comment in people's lives, as far as like almost having a cold or a headache or whatever it might be. But anyway, just thought I'd bring it up. It's just an interesting question, if you ask me. Some other things happening at the moment. Did you see the Riyadh season event? Terence Crawford and the Madrimov card on the weekend lost $10 million. Now I know that's just pocket change to old Turkey Al Sheikh, who's in the news again for going back and forth with Canelo Alvarez. Still think it's a little bit childish from Turkey. I know he's the main man in his country, but you know, Canelo Alvarez has earned his right to do what he wants. But anyway, I spoke about that yesterday. But $10 million. Now, he probably just went out to the glove box of his car and pulled that out. But this is a business, remember. And what point do they do sort of 6 shows a year and they're losing 60, 70, 80 million dollars for the year? At what point do they say, is this business model right? Now, I've got a feeling I could probably wipe $5 million off that straight away, by the way, of that $10 million loss, just in all the shit that they went on with beforehand, and all the razzmatazz and all the maybe unnecessary fights they had on the card. Now, it's great they had the fights on the card. Again, I talked about that yesterday, that maybe they should do a Riyadh weekend, or Riyadh season weekend, where they do 2 shows, one on the Friday night that's free on pay-per-view, and then the following night that's the pay-per-view portion of the card. So yeah, it's just interesting to see how long it goes on before he says, well, you know, maybe we just go back to Saudi Arabia and do the shows over there, where I'm sure they will make a lot of money. And the other thing they could easily save money on, I think, is that, I said it the other day, with the timing of the event, the location of the event, reports are they gave away a lot of tickets, and heavily discounted the other tickets, and then the pay-per-view sales were pretty much non-existent. Now, I know Terence Crawford's not he's a big name in boxing, but he's not a big name in mainstream sports. Madrimov is obviously not known by anybody. So I just think they need to tweak a few things. Not saying it's all doom and gloom, but I just think they should cut down the amount of the big fights they have on their cards, or the expensive fights. Really do some research about where they're actually putting these events. Vegas just would have made sense. I think if they're coming to America, they just put it in Vegas. And then, you know, as I said, like the time of day, the 1 o'clock start, all that sort of stuff. But the LA thing, I still don't know why they decided to put it in LA. It's just a pretty strange place to put it. These days, they don't really put any fights, except unless they're featuring, you know, a really hot Mexican fighter. So they've got some work to do, but as I said, I think they can trim the fat pretty quick. But do they really want to make money, or just cover their costs, or does he do it as a passing hobby? I don't know. It's just a hobby for him. Well, $10 million probably 5 or 6 times a year is probably nothing, and they probably make that back in Saudi. So I don't know. But maybe, just maybe at some stage they rethink the US part of their business. But speaking of hot Mexican fighters, as in performance, not looks. Well, I suppose you could say that. Little Bam Rodriguez, he's going to be fighting Juan Francisco Estrada again. Estrada has invoked his rematch clause, so they'll go again. I'm not quite sure it really makes a lot of sense, if I'm being honest. I think the first fight was so conclusive. I don't see it ending any other way. Bam Estrada, what a little fighter he is, and I just think he might even do it earlier this time against Juan Francisco Estrada, who's been a great champion. Seen him live a couple of times, and they absolutely love him. But there comes a time, and I just think it's Bam Rodriguez's time, and I just think that we might see an even more conclusive win this time, and hopefully, you never know, might see those fights against Nakatani, and I was going to say in a way, but I doubt the weight could be decided upon there, but definitely Nakatani. So, and I just actually on that, that's the one fight I do want to see. If you ask me one fight that I want to see more than anything, it would be Inoue and Nakatani. What a fight that would be. So look guys, that's about it for today. I think I've sort of covered everything. I'm no doubt something will come. I might have a little bit more to say about Caitlin Parker and Charlie Senior tomorrow once I've watched the fights in full. And as I said before, I might just give a bit of a wrap up of the Aussies at the Olympics. But there you go. Have a great Friday. I'm not sure whether I said it at the start, but it is Friday, August the 9th. As I'm recording this at about sort of 7:30, 7:40 or something in the morning. So have a great day, and we'll catch you tomorrow.